Hey everyone, Coach Mike here, and a massive welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into Idaho's highlights and challenges. Yes, it's famous for potatoes, but there's so much more. From stunning landscapes to affordable living and tight-knit communities. But no place is perfect. Let's explore Idaho, unedited. Alright, let's kick things off with what is, for many people, Idaho's star player. Its stunning natural landscapes and the sheer abundance of outdoor activities. If you're someone who feels most alive when you're outside, Idaho is like an all-you-can-eat buffet of awesome. We're talking majestic, snow-capped mountains, pristine alpine lakes, and vast, sprawling forests. It's the kind of beauty that makes you stop and just breathe. And it's not just about looking pretty, though it definitely does that well. The variety of activities is incredible. Whether you're into hardcore hiking, whitewater rafting down famous rapids like the Salmon River, or a laid-back fishing trip, Idaho delivers. In the winter, the ski resorts here are world-class, offering powder that skiers and snowboarders dream about. And then there's camping, mountain biking, kayaking, rock climbing, you name it, you can probably do it here. You can be in a city like Boise, and within a short drive, you're completely immersed in wilderness. This connection to the wild shapes the lifestyle here. It encourages a certain ruggedness, a self-reliance, but also a deep appreciation for the environment. So, if your idea of a perfect weekend involves fresh air, stunning views, and a bit of adventure, then Idaho's natural offerings are a massive, undeniable pro. It's a place where you can truly unplug and recharge. Let's talk about something that hits close to home for everyone: money. Specifically, the cost of living. Idaho has been known for its affordability. This can be a game changer for families trying to get ahead. More affordable housing means your dollar stretches further. This reduces financial stress and frees up resources. Beyond housing, everyday expenses are more manageable. While some areas like Boise have seen increases, Idaho still offers a quality of life that might be out of reach elsewhere. Let's shift gears from the practicalities of landscapes and finances to something a bit more human. I'm talking about the people, the communities. And this is an area where Idaho often gets high marks. There's a reputation here for friendliness, for a kind of down-to-earth, welcoming spirit that can make newcomers feel at home relatively quickly. It's not something you can easily quantify like mountain peaks or housing prices, but it's incredibly important to your overall experience of a place. It's the difference between feeling like an outsider and feeling like you belong. You often hear stories about neighbors helping neighbors, about communities rallying around those in need. There's a sense in many parts of Idaho of a shared identity, a local pride that fosters connection. It might be the small-town feel that persists even in some of the larger areas, or perhaps it's a byproduct of a lifestyle that values connection and mutual support. This welcoming atmosphere isn't just a passive thing, it's often an active characteristic. You'll find community events, local festivals, farmers markets, and volunteer opportunities where people genuinely seem to enjoy connecting with one another. Now, of course, individual experiences will vary, but the prevailing culture in many Idaho communities leans towards openness and approachability. So, while it's always a good idea to visit and get a feel for a specific town or neighborhood yourself, the general reputation of Idaho communities for being friendly and welcoming is, I believe, well-earned. Let's talk about careers and opportunities. Idaho's job market is diversifying impressively. Growth in tech, healthcare, manufacturing, and services. Boise attracts tech companies for its quality of life. More opportunities across various skills. Lower cost of living fuels business growth. More businesses create more jobs, attracting more people. Research industries and locations that match your skills. Next up on our scouting report: education. For families with kids, or for anyone considering furthering their own education, the quality of schools and universities is a massive factor. And Idaho, while perhaps not always the first state that springs to mind for academic powerhouses, actually has a solid and, in many cases, excellent educational landscape. From K-12 public schools in many communities that boast strong academic programs and dedicated teachers, to a respected system of colleges and universities, there are good options here. When we look at the K-12 system, like anywhere, quality can vary from district to district. But you'll find many public schools with high graduation rates, good student-to-teacher ratios, and a commitment to providing a well-rounded education. There's often strong community involvement in schools, which is a huge plus. And for those seeking alternatives, there are also private school options and a supportive environment for homeschooling in many areas. On the higher education front, Idaho has some well-regarded institutions. Boise State University, for example, has grown significantly in reputation and offerings, particularly in fields like engineering, business, and health sciences. Then there's the University of Idaho in Moscow, a land-grant institution with strong programs in agriculture, natural resources, and law. Idaho State University in Pocatello also plays a vital role, especially in health professions and technical education. These institutions aren't just places of learning, they are also major employers and contributors to the state's economy and culture. So, while Idaho might not have the sheer number of Ivy League caliber institutions as some other states, it offers a solid, accessible, and often excellent educational experience. Alright, we've talked a lot about the sunshine and rainbows, the highlight reel plays. Now it's time to look at some of the challenges, the fumbles, the things that might make you think twice. And one of the biggest ones for many people considering Idaho is the winter. Let me be clear, Idaho winters are not for the faint of heart. Depending on where you are in the state, especially in the mountainous regions in the north, you can expect significant snowfall, freezing temperatures, and a season that can feel like it stretches on for a good long while. We're talking about needing serious winter gear, not just a light jacket, but insulated coats, hats, gloves, waterproof boots. You'll likely need to learn how to drive in snow and ice, or at least be prepared for days when travel is difficult or inadvisable. Shoveling snow can become a regular part of your winter workout routine. For those unaccustomed to it, the sheer persistence of the cold and the snow can be a bit of a shock to the system. The impact of these harsh winters goes beyond just personal comfort. It can affect daily life in various ways. Roads can close, sometimes isolating smaller communities for brief periods. The heating bills can be substantial, which can offset some of that lower cost of living we talked about earlier. So, when you're dreaming of those beautiful Idaho mountains, make sure you also picture them covered in a deep blanket of snow with the thermometer dipping well below freezing. Chapter 7. Getting around the public transportation puzzle. Let's talk about getting from point A to point B. In Idaho, transportation is a key consideration. Limited public transportation options are a challenge. Idaho's public transit isn't as comprehensive as big cities. Boise has Valley Regional Transit, but options are limited. Public transit is useful if you live and work along routes. Frequency and reach might not match big city expectations. Outside urban hubs, public transportation is scarce. Owning a car is a necessity for most Idaho residents. Long distances and outdoor recreation demand personal vehicles. This reliance contributes to traffic congestion in urban areas. If you rely on public transportation, consider this factor. Idaho's cultural diversity is evolving. Historically less diverse, urban centers like Boise are changing. Yet the overall landscape remains predominantly homogeneous. This can mean fewer international stores and cultural festivals. But Idahoans are open and curious. Efforts to promote inclusivity are ongoing, including celebrating Basque and Native American cultures. But Idaho offers a different experience than cities like New York or LA. Idaho's stunning landscapes come with natural hazards. Wildfires are a major concern, especially in dry seasons. Flooding and earthquakes also pose risks. Awareness and preparedness are key. Enjoy nature but stay prepared. Finally, let's talk about what happens when the sun goes down, or when you're looking for a bit of urban excitement. If you're someone who thrives on a bustling nightlife scene, a vast array of trendy restaurants and bars, or a constant stream of big-name concerts and entertainment events, Idaho might feel a bit quiet. While cities like Boise do have a growing and respectable entertainment scene, it's generally on a smaller scale compared to major metropolitan areas. In Boise, you'll find a good selection of restaurants, craft breweries. Idaho has a great beer scene, some live music venues, theaters, and bars. There are cultural events, and the Morrison Center hosts touring Broadway shows and other performances. But if you're used to the sheer volume and variety of options available in a city like Seattle, Portland, or Denver, you might find the choices more limited. Outside of Boise and perhaps a few other larger towns like Coeur d'Alene or Idaho Falls, the nightlife and entertainment options become significantly more restricted. In many smaller Idaho communities, nightlife might consist of a local diner, a couple of bars, and perhaps a high school football game on a Friday night for